question, mbona tunalipa politicians mshahara alafu tunaongeza allowances za kufund lifestyle zao? Kwani mshahara zao ni za kazi gani? For example, unapata mtu analipwa 600k, 400k ama 1 million ama whatever amount analipwa. Alafu on top of that, kuna allowances sasa. Kuna allowance ya nyumba, kuna allowance ya magari, kuna allowance ya kufuel hizo gari, kuna allowances za hospitali, kuna even travel allowances for some of them. But this person bado analipwa mshahara. Mbona hawaizi fund hizo vitu zote using mshahara zao like normal Kenyans? Sisi wa Kenya ndio tumefanya our politicians wana behave kama demigods. Tumeweka hapa, alafu sisi tuko na huko chini. Na hata hawatuoni. They can't even see us from where we've put them. They can't see all the way down there. That is why we need to change some of these laws. Auditor General Nancy Gadongo anashinga kituambia money has been withdrawn. Money is sijui 1.3 trillion ime withdraw within a span of 7 months. Sijui how many billions have been withdrawn. Pesa ime withdraw sijui wapi without whose consent, without sijui going through the proper channels. But never has she ever told us who withdraws this money by name. I'm very sure, madam, when you're going through all those things, alafu unaanza kutrace pesa fulani imeenda place fulani, you know exactly who withdraws that money. So why don't you just give us a name? Utupe tu jina tujue nani wanatuibia mchana, tujue tu live who's stealing from us. Other countries are busy clearing off their debts. Juzi mmeona Nigeria wamelipa deni wakamaliza. Sisi kazi yetu ni kuomba deni na kuiba hiyo pesa, hata hakuna kitu maana inatufanyia. Tutaendeleaje surely? How are we supposed to move forward as a country if you're getting debt for recurring expenditure and the rest to be stolen and put in people's pockets? Unajua, it's one thing to steal, and it's a whole different kind of madness to admit to your crime. A full MP and a very close confidant to the president, Oscar Sudi, was caught on camera talking about how if elections watashindwa, they will definitely go to jail for life. Basically, he's admitted that ile crimes wame commit, the kind of crimes wame commit will just send them to prison for life. Bila chills, he actually said that from his own mouth. Mpaka unashanga wa Kenya, mnataka kuambiwa na nani ndo msikie? They're openly confessing to their crimes. Openly, bila kushtuka. Saying that hawezi kubali elections iende any other way other than their way. Do you think democracy is going to save us this time around?
Wadau, how are you people doing? Hope kila mtu ako fit, hope kila mtu ako salama wherever it is you're listening or watching from. So another day to remind you and make sure that hii message mtaishika na muishike vizuri. I told you I'm going to keep on telling you this message until it sinks and is drilled in your heads. Sikizeni Wakenya wenzangu. I told you and told you, and I'm going to repeat it again. Our country is going down a very dangerous path. We live in a country whereby it has become normal for billions to be lost. It has become normal for the Auditor General to come and say 1.3 trillion is missing. Money from a citizen is missing. We cannot explain this and this in the budget. We live in a country whereby the former deputy president comes on live TV show and tells you that within the past 2 years, the gentleman we call our president has amassed wealth to the tunes of 2 to 3 trillion. 2 to 3 trillion wadau. The amount of money that we have as the budget of the entire country. One single man hivi owns that much. Wadau, I'm here again to remind you that I told you and I've been telling you, and I will keep on telling you, that this disease, this dragon that we have in our country, this cancer, this sickness that is eating into the heart of our country, the only way we are going to sort it out, the only way we are going to solve it, is when we make corruption a capital offense. Is when we make corruption in Kenya so painful, so unimaginable, so ruthless, that if you just even dream about stealing Kenyan money, you wake up at night sweating because of the horrors you've dreamt of. I'm telling you, until you get to a point whereby, if you just even have an idea of stealing money from Kenyans, you get a heart attack. Because you imagine the repercussions that are going to follow that. The disastrous things that are going to happen to both you and your family. You do not even want to become close to that. Me, I'm telling you, Wadau, until the day tutakuwa, the punishment for corruption in Kenya, itakuwa so painful, itakuwa so brutal, itakuwa so ruthless, so merciless. Mambo ya human rights, mambo ya dignity kwanza tuweke kando. Kwa sababu mimi nimewauliza, we cannot be talking about saying that we hang people for stealing is so inhumane, it's against human rights, it's so brutal, you know, it's so draconian. Think about that poor Kenyan who cannot afford dialysis because money for dialysis machine has been used to buy a Range Rover by a governor. Think about that old woman who cannot go to the hospital and get that treatment because the money to buy that equipment, the money to buy that medicine has been taken by someone, and they are buying a G-Wagon, and they've bought land, and they've taken that money and they are buying 300 million houses in Dubai. Just imagine your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your children going to a hospital with a broken hand, okay, with a simple infection, but they cannot be treated because the hospital pharmacy has been raided by someone who has taken the medicine and decided that all these other Kenyans are useless. All these other Kenyans are tantamount to nothing. They mean nothing. And they decide to steal all that medicine and go and sell in their chemist. What do you think we should do to such kind of a person? Just imagine you have your own innocent old mom, old dad, old grandma, and they need to go to the hospital just to get their eyes checked, just to get simple medication for the simple illnesses. Yet they cannot do it because you do not have money to buy expensive medicines. You do not have money to pay for the expensive tests. Yet that money was allocated in the budget, but someone took that money and bought houses in Dubai. Someone took that money, bought G-Wagons and Range Rovers, and they're driving Bentleys in Kenya. When you and your old mother, when you and your old father are having to sell your land, sell everything that you own, so you can just pay for simple treatment, what do you think we should do to such a person? Me, I told you, and I'll keep on telling you, Wadau. Solution yangu ni moja. Until the day tutaanza kuhang watu publicly. Until the day we are going to start hanging people publicly. Until the day we are going to have politicians hanging and returning every single thing they have taken. Nothing is ever going to change in that country. I'm telling you, Wadau. Nothing is ever going to change. We have normalized nonsense in our country to the point that it is okay. We don't even talk about it anymore. It's not even shown in the news anymore. It's okay for us to wake up in the morning and we are going to be told billions are missing. And we are like, it's normal, it's okay. It's okay. I'm telling you, until the day we decide to be so ruthless and so merciless with corruption, nothing is ever going to change in that country. Nothing. I told you, and I'm going to keep repeating. It does not matter who you put in that seat. It does not matter how good they are, what good intentions they have. As long as corruption is not made a capital offense, as long as corruption is not going to be punishable in Kenya in the most heinous, the most ruthless, the most merciless way possible, nothing is ever going to change. Because a person who is stealing school money, capitation that is supposed to be taken in schools, so that your child can get quality education. A person who is stealing money that is supposed to be buying dialysis machines, CT scans machines, what are they called? X-ray machines, lab equipment to test for diseases, pharmaceuticals for the medicines for the chemists. A person who is stealing money that is supposed to build a bridge that men, women, and children are supposed to cross so that they can go to the other side, and they lose their lives falling into rivers. Such kind of a person, what do you think we should do to such kind of a person? A person who is willing to take the money that is yours in the first place because it is your taxpayers' money, and decide to buy a house, buy a big car, take their girlfriends and their wives for good vacations, when you, the normal Kenyan mwananchi, cannot afford a simple meal, cannot afford a decent life, cannot afford to even do the most basic and mundane things in your life. My submission is this, my dear Kenyan. Until the day we become ruthless, until the day we become merciless with criminals who steal our taxpayers' money, with criminals who have decided that they are going to take our taxpayers' money and they are going to live like wealthy kings at our expense, until the day we decide that we are going to be hanging people publicly, until the day we decide that you take our money, we are going to come for you and your entire family. Not just you. We are going to make sure that we punish you and your entire family. The reason for that is to make sure that your own family members, your own children, your own wife, your own mother and father are going to be the people who are going to be coming to us and telling us, this person is stealing. Because they know very well the law of the land states that your husband steals, you and your children are also going to be part of the punishment. So no one is going to allow themselves to be part of a criminal empire. Until the day we become ruthless with corruption, until the day we make corruption so painful, until the day we stop talking about humanity and human rights and all those things, when people are stealing our humanity, when people are stealing medicine money, when people are stealing money that is meant to build hospitals, to build schools, when people are stealing money that is meant to create agricultural programs, to create jobs and feed the nation, until the day we realize that people who are stealing public funds have already killed you. Someone who's stealing money from a hospital has already killed you. So we cannot be talking about humane things when the people who are stealing this money are already humane. When you behave like an animal, we can only treat you like an animal. Until the day we as Kenyans realize that, until the day we start treating these people like animals, because they have declared themselves animals, nothing is ever going to change in that country, wadau. Peace out.
Luchivia,
Ndio.
Labda hujui ni nani utapigia kura in 2027.
Yes.
Lakini ile kitu muhimu zaidi
Ndio.
ni kwamba ujue yule mwenye hautapigia kura.
Yes.
Are we together?
Uh-huh.
You may not know who you will vote for in 2027.
Yes.
But it is important to know who you will not vote for in 2027.
Hey.
The best way for Kenyans to vote in 2027 is two ways. One, don't vote for anybody who did not deliver when it came to their manifesto. Number two, do not vote for anybody who had any previous corruption cases. For example, when it comes to Sakaja, the current Nairobi governor wants to run for a second term. Now, I will be damned if I vote for Sakaja considering just one part of the manifesto, which is roads. He said that he will fix roads and he will fix drainage and water will be distributed to different parts of Nairobi. He said this and he has not delivered. Nairobi to go 2025, we are almost at the half of the year and the roads are flooding insanely even if it rains just a little bit. So what logic would someone be using if they vote for Sakaja for the second time? What logic would somebody be using if they vote for Pasaris, who is definitely probably going to run again for Nairobi women rep, and she has not been proactive in talking about like femicide cases and protecting women, which is her job in parliament. If we just focus on those two things, not voting for anybody who had any corruption case and not voting for anybody who has messed up their manifesto, I feel like Kenyans would be really, really far. Instead of focusing on voting for somebody because of their tribe, because they paid you 200 shillings, because you are voting for them just so that they can remove somebody else and you hope that they are going to do something better, please, I think it's time that we remove ourselves from the situation. And also to the Kenyan youth, we are the majority. When you look at people who are 35 and under, we are the majority when it comes to the population. By 2027, let's say all of us will be adult status and all of us can get a voter's ID and actually vote. I am really, really, really encouraging people to register to vote when that time comes. Let's not vote for people because of any other reason except those two. Let's be logical this time, please. Like, our lives depend on it.
Kwani wewe utakubali upige kura mtu aibe? Wewe kama Mkenya mwenye unateseka as we speak now, utakubali uende upige kura 2027 alafu mtu achukue aongeze rais? Kwa sababu anatuambia kwamba hakuna rais ashawahi kuwa one term president. Sasa wanasema hata kama rais hatapita, watachukua kidogo kidogo kutoka kwa zile zetu waongeze, rais apite. Kwani wewe kama Mkenya who are going through a very difficult times as we speak now, are you going to allow people to steal your elections? Kwani tutakuwa wajinga aina gani? Tutakuwa wajinga aina gani turuhusu watu waibe kura zetu yenye tumepiga na venye sisi tunateseka saa hii? Atuwaibe waongeze yule mwingine apate aingie kama rais. Kwani sisi tutakuwa wajinga aina gani? Si wajinga walisha Kenya? Sasa itakuwa aje mtu atuibie kura zetu?
2027 at the tallying center at the ward level, we will have Gen Z representatives to count the votes and to announce the votes. Alafu tutaungana kama Gen Z, kama ni Nairobi County, kuna Gen Z wa kule Githurai, Gen Z wa Kangemi, atatuambia ni ngapi na tutajua ni votes ngapi za rais zimepigwa katika Nairobi County, na tutafanya hivyo katika Kakamega County, tutafanya hivyo katika Bungoma County.
Haja na magavana, MCA, mnataka zile za rais peke yake.
Lazima rais ametuchosha bana, lazima akwende nyumbani.
One time. Sasa nini? Ground. Hatuongea. Sawa.
Hivi venye nanawa hivi. Ndo nanawa Ruto. Nimenawa Ruto kabisa. Nimenawa Ruto. Ruto Kasongo nimekunawa.
My people, unaingia kuiva alafu unaletewa one time kama chesa. Mulisema hamutaki kuchelewa in anything. Well, like Kenyans, you never disappoint, and this is the reason as to why I just love my country, Kenya. Munakuanga macho na munakuanga sete in anything. Anyway, Aluta, the struggle continues. We have to drain the swamps.
Ese yo moyo.
Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go.
Enyewe Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. Wash fire, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go.